This thing on? Hi folks, welcome to the stream. Little rush today. So welcome in folks. My name's Gemma. I'm a storyteller, whether that be through the lens of writing, music, video games, or creating art and multimedia content. I'm a gay, scary trans woman in my mid-50s who didn't have the privilege of an early transition. As such, you get me as I am. And I am physically disabled, which has led to apparently a permanent unemployment. So I've gone back to uni to study for a bachelor's degree in music, focused on composing for film, TV, and video games. I recognise the unceded sovereignty of the Kaurna people, the First Nations people whose territory I live on the stream from, and I recognise, support and fully endorse decolonial action to restore the connection between all Indigenous peoples and the lands claimed illegitimately by colonisers and imperial powers. That means land back. That means genuine sovereignty, not just paper ownership of the land. And yeah, so we're about those sorts of things here, unapologetically so, and that's a very significant part of why I stream, is to sort of encourage people to be a bit more aware of the world they live in and some of the injustices in it. I am also one of these people who streams for the value of, how do I put it, showing myself learning and hoping that other people learn along with me. So today we're going to try some drum and bass production, and we're going to have a bit of a dive into some of the techniques and make some doofs in Ableton Live. So yeah, that's the plan for this evening. I do have a bit of a snack in front of me which I need to finish off, so I will mute the microphone and camera in a little while, but yeah, that's the program for tonight. So I hope everyone's well. I hope you've all had a good weekend. It's Monday night, bin night for me. I need to make sure I don't forget to put the bins out before I go to bed. And yeah, I have just made a few interesting little discoveries in the last 24 hours. One of those is that I've been paying for gigabit Ethernet, but the router that my system connects to is so yeah, the basic idea is that I am going to be doing some of that. For the immediate short term though, let's see if we can find some content on how to make drum and bass, because honestly, I have some ideas, but I'd rather listen to someone who does make it for a living explain what the process is. So, how to make All right.
I'm Underbelly, and you...
Not sure I could take much of this guy, but hey, we'll find out. So let's go to this screen. We'll...
You suck at producing. We Americans are a slow, sloth-like people, which is why we have such a hard time appreciating drum and bass, a genre known for its super fast and intricate drum grooves. That's why in today's lesson, we're going to learn how to program our very own D&B drum beats from scratch. And I'll also be sharing the stems and Ableton project file of my very own drum and bass song called Asterism. You can download the stems in the video description below. And if you like the version you make out of them, feel free to submit it to my remix contest happening in my Discord. The winner of the remix contest will receive a free private lesson, a sweet Discord role, and get their track posted throughout all my social media. Wowzers! But be sure to submit by April 15th to be considered. And once again, if you like the content in the channel and want to support, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so check it. First things first, let's go ahead and hear the drum beat we're going to be making today. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so that's got more layers than Uncle Joe's bean dip. I mean, where do we even start with this thing? Okay, just relax. Let's go ahead and create a new empty MIDI track, and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to create a drum rack here, and let's just get some generic drum and bass sounds. So I got Curtis the kick, let's see, Helga the hi-hat, Sam the snare, and of course the little snare that could. And I'm just going to create a short 2-bar empty MIDI clip just by highlighting this and hitting Command-Shift-M, and wowzers. First thing to keep in mind is the BPM. Right now we're working at 166, which is actually a little bit on the slow side for drum and bass music. Most people making this are around 174 to 187, but given the fact that I am a slow, sloth-like American, this is the best we're going to do at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and put Sam on the 2 and 4 of every measure, and it's going to sound like this. Wowzers. Okay, so that's the greatest drum and bass beat I've ever heard, but let's keep going. I'm going to get Curtis and put him on the 1 and halfway between the 3rd and 4th beat of each measure, and it's going to sound like this. Oh, wowzers. Now that's the generic drum and bass feel, but of course we can take some of these Curtis kicks and shift them over to the left or right. Let's just see how that sounds. Okay, so that's the foundation right there, but here's the thing. The real fun and power of drum and bass programming comes when we start creating these fills and variations in between Sam and Curtis here. So let's go ahead and use the little snare that could, and I'm just going to smatter him in between this big space between Sam and Curtis here. I'm going to do the same thing in the second measure, and let's just hear how that sounds. Oh, wowzers. Okay, let's go ahead and make this a little bit more dynamic. I'm going to take some of the little snares and make them even smaller by turning down the velocities here. Let's hear it. Oh, wowzers, this is sounding pretty damn good. Now that we have our foundation in place, let's just go ahead and take Helga here. I'm going to change the grid to an 8th note grid. I'm just going to get Helga's across the board here and maybe do like a very slight variation, maybe somewhere in the middle here, something like that. Let's hear it. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so now that we have our foundational drum beat in place, let's add the shit shaker. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag that to a new empty MIDI track, audio track, and I'm just going to group these two together, and let's hear how that sounds. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so this shit shaker needs a lot of work. If you can't already tell, it's an American shit shaker, and we're going to need to do some serious liposuction on this one if we want it to have the fit, young, trim, European body we need to dance to drum and bass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this shit shaker go twice as fast by hitting this divide by 2 button next to the BPM. You can see that halved the original BPM, so now it's going to sound like this. Twice as fast. Okay, now still not great. What we're going to do is we're going to change the warp mode from complex to repitch. And because we made the BPM twice as fast, the pitch is going to go way up. Oh, wowzers. Now, that's decent, but here's the thing. You guys might have noticed that this shit shaker, just like any American would be, is very late. So what we can do here is go to our quantize settings here, and I'm going to quantize to 16th notes, and let's just make it perfectly on the grid. So just let's hit OK, and wowzers, let's take a listen there. Oh, so much better. I'm just going to go ahead and loop the first bar here, and let's just take a listen to how that sounds. Go back here, maybe turn up Sam. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so that's pretty good, but let's add one last element here, and for this we're going to need Derek.
Okay, so I have to admit, I am not hating this. This guy's attitude towards Americans is actually pretty funny. So, yeah, back to it.
So Derek's looks like he's playing a drum break right here. He's doing his very best. Now here's the thing. When we're layering drum breaks alongside MIDI drums here, one thing we have to keep in mind is making sure that both elements are playing the exact same or similar drum beat. So for example, let's go ahead and focus on what Derek is doing here, and let's pay attention to his kick pattern. So let's listen. Kick, 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 kick. Okay, so that's his kick pattern. Now let's listen to our kick pattern that we've programmed. Kick, 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 kick. Okay, so as you can see, they're quite different here. So what we need to do is we need to chop up this piece of audio, Derek's drum break here, so that it's playing the exact same kick pattern as what's happening in our MIDI drums. So first things first, I'm actually going to tighten up Derek a little bit. It looks like he also needs a little bit of liposuction. So I'm going to transpose this up 3 half steps, and it's going to sound like this. Let's solo this out. Okay, so that's a little bit better, but as you can see, Derek is playing these 2 kicks in the spaces where there are no kicks happening in my MIDI drums, which is a bit of a drag. So what we're going to do is just delete these 2 kicks, and I'm going to go ahead and cover up that space by taking this just one little hit right here, this little hi-hat or something, and just copy that and paste it in the spaces that we created there. So wowzers, it's going to sound a little bit like this. Okay, a little bit closer to what we want, but here's the thing. We're seeing that a kick is happening in the MIDI drums right here. So let's go ahead and copy Derek's kick here over to match the MIDI drums. And together, I'm going to go ahead and mute the shit shaker for now. Together, they're going to sound like this. Okay, almost there. Let's just take this last kick and copy it to match the MIDI drums there. And wowzers, let's go ahead and consolidate that so that it's all in one clip there and loop it out. And let's just hear that with the whole package here. Oh, wowzers. And just last little minute detail, let's go ahead and put an EQ8 on this Derek clip here. Looks like Derek has a big bottom, so we're going to have to do some liposuction there. I'm just going to take out some of the low end from his kick so that it's not interfering with our MIDI kick. Just something like around there. And let's hear that in the mix together with the shit shaker. Oh, shit. Oh, wowzers. Okay, everybody's gonna love my trim, young, hot European bod. Wowzers. Thanks for watching. Once again, feel free to download the stems in the video description below, and be sure to submit your remix to the contest by April 15th. I'm Underbelly. Have a great day.
That was actually kind of useful. Not a real lot that I didn't already know, but there's some neat little tricks in there. This guy.
Hey guys, in today's video,
I've watched a bit of his content. He's pretty good. He mostly does more sort of house and techno sort of beats, but he knows his shit within the whole EDM genre.
I'm going to show you how to make liquid or intelligent drum and bass, and this is what we're going to be creating today. I'm going to show you every step of the process from scratch from a completely blank DAW template. We're going to be creating the drums, the bass, the chords, all the ear candy, and some vocals too. And we're going to be touching on some mixing and some arrangement. As usual, you can download this project file, all the samples completely free. Just use the link below this video. Now, you guys voted for this the other week. It came in second place, but I've already made a lot of melodic house tutorials, and I wanted to do an intelligent drum and bass tutorial because this is one of my first loves from when I started in music production back in the 90s. I used to love LTJ Bookham, MC Conrad, and I used to listen to all the pirate radio stations too. Anyway, enough about me. Without further ado, let's hop into the DAW and get it done. So as usual, let's start off with the vibe. So intelligent drum and bass, or liquid drum and bass, which is the more modern version, is...
Hey, Will Adam. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, that guy had a particularly distinctive, droll, dry approach to things, which was pretty funny. Yeah, good fun.
Is to drum and bass what melodic house is to house. So it's quite emotional, there are some beautiful chords in there, but the difference is it's at a drum and bass tempo and has a drum and bass vibe. So first thing we're going to do is select that tempo. I'm going to hit 175, and what are we going to call this? Intelligent drum and bass, liquid drum and bass. We are going to call this liquidity in a... That's just wrong. No, let's just call this liquidity in bass. Boom. Okay, right. Next thing we are going to do is actually we're going to bring in a classic jungle breakbeat, and that is the Amen Brother breaks. You will have all heard it if you've heard any kind of drum and bass or jungle music, and it's one of the most popular, most widely sampled breakbeats in history. So it is from, I can't remember the name of the guys that wrote the original track. I think it was maybe the Wilson brothers, but don't hold me to that. So what we can do is load up Loop Cloud, and this is great for finding loops, by the way. And I'm just going to put Amen Break and see if we can find something. I've probably already downloaded one, so let's have a listen. That's the break that we need. So it was sampled from this old soul record, sped up, and this is the basis of pretty much most jungle and drum and bass tracks. So I'm going to take it down in volume to make sure we don't have any clipping on the master channel. We don't want the cumulative signal to be more than about minus 6 dB. And now let's program in the actual drums that this breakbeat is going to augment. So I'm going to choose a kick drum. I'm just going to go to my favorites. Super important to have favorites. I just realized that Amen Brother break is... I like saying Amen Brother. So yes, let me know. Actually, don't let me know if you're enjoying it yet, because I haven't done enough for that. So let's just turn off the break, turn on the metronome, and let's just get in a drum and bass kick pattern. So we need that to be a bit longer so we can hear the whole kick. Great, and now we're just going to repeat that. And I think we want this to be a bit longer than our usual loop, so we can have a bit of variation at the end, because this tempo is a lot faster than the tracks I usually write. And then the second time through, we can add a little bit of interest at the end. Just a little bit of an extra kick there. And now let's program in the snare. Now this is easy. This is just on the second and the fourth of every bar, because this is still 4/4 time, even though the kick isn't going boom, 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 boom. There are still 4 beats in every bar. So let's go and find ourselves a tasty little snare.
How intelligent is the music, do we have to learn to count to 19 instead of 4? Probably not on the 19 side of things. Yeah, and there definitely was certainly a point where D&B was made from actual drums, as opposed to 808s and that sort of thing. Although 808s and 909s have a really strong history in EDM generally and hip hop as well, and D&B is certainly no exception to that. For those who don't have a Twitch Turbo subscription or who aren't subscribed, I'm sorry, you're going to get an ad in about 2.5 minutes. Please hang around. I'll just keep playing the video for now, and hopefully you won't miss too much of that. But it's, I'd rather that than you miss out on me doing stuff, if you know what I mean. Not to be egotistical, just, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway.
That already sounds quite good for drum and bass, actually. So let's just program that in as well. I'll just consolidate these. Oh, I've got loads of good tricks to show you, actually. Stuff I haven't shown you before, so that's going to be good. Yeah, so let's just copy that to every other beat, turn it down, and we can now turn off the metronome.